You'd think that for an event with absolutely no one in attendance, where the electricity was almost completely gone, I'd give a lot of sins. However, I'm actually doing this instead. I'm removing 20 sins right off the bat for the WWE doing everything in their power to entertain the concerned and frightened people around the world in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Sacrificing their own risks of getting infected just to entertain fans and take their mind off this deserves the praise. But fine, I'll place one sin because there's no audience. Now we can focus on the events at hand.
Provide you with a diversion during these hard times.
Gotta give props to Stephanie McMahon for being as professional as can be to kick off WrestleMania. When you can't get someone to sing America the Beautiful tonight due to the circumstances, playing a compilation of some of the best performances over the years is a great idea. We interrupt WrestleMania 36 to bring you Pirates of the Caribbean, and just know what was present at Raymond James Stadium really makes us ache for Tampa Bay to get another shot at WrestleMania once this whole thing blows over. Also, literally 6 freaking minutes of an opening intro.
Okay, alright, okay.
When you can't get Christian Maracle to interrupt the opening promo and start spewing sins throughout due to the circumstances, having some random guy do it instead is a bad idea. Goddamn Rob Gronkowski. Let's be thankful there's no audience if this is the case.
This party's too big for just one night.
Let's be fair, the only reason this event has been split into 2 nights is because no one would be able to handle 5.5 hours of a WrestleMania with no audience. It's different when there's an audience because the atmosphere makes it at least tolerable.
The Hall of Fame elect.
Okay, I get that all shows had to be either postponed or have no audience, but why couldn't we have the WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony take place in some way? After all, 100% of the show is the legends talking on a podium. With the right social distancing measures, they could still do that. That's an event that doesn't need any fans.
Back in October of last year.
Damn, it's been over 6 months since Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross lost the women's tag team titles to the Kabuki Warriors, and only now are they asking for them back? Must be pretty awkward for the referee to be raising the titles to an empty wall.
What is your focus? How do you look to put your opponent away?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the same way wrestlers put their opponents away all the other times they compete in matches. Duh. Asuka clearly just tagged in Kairi Sane in full view of the referee, and he does absolutely nothing about it. Asuka is no longer legal, dumbass. Get Kairi in the match.
The Pirate Princess.
Kairi Sane is the Pirate Princess of a pirate-themed WrestleMania. I can still remember a year ago when this was first announced. Fans wanted Kairi to win the Royal Rumble and get a singles title at this event. Even before COVID-19 hit the USA, fans had long forgotten about that. Freaking what? Alexa Bliss is that easy to push down? Messing with hair to the face? What am I even watching right here?
Nikki Cross's performance the other night was better than anything you've ever done in your career.
JBL somehow hasn't hit Michael Cole with a clothesline from hell for saying that to him. I would have done it within seconds. Also, that one awkward moment when you can rarely hear the commentators over the yells of the wrestlers in the ring. Yikes.
Yes, we have. And tag made here.
I'm sorry, but no, there is no way that tag from Alexa was legal. She is standing in the middle of the apron, away from her corner, and not hanging onto the tag rope. The referee allows an illegal tag, but ignored that legal tag from Asuka to Kairi when this match started. I can't even look when the wrestlers get fired up and turn in the direction of an audience that isn't there. It's understandable how we're not used to the circumstances, but still. Also, on the subject of no audience, this was a huge missed opportunity to have R-Truth come out and announce the attendance of 70,000 little Jimmies in the Performance Center. Asuka and Kairi are annoying with their Japanese taunts, and it's working to full perfection. Fuck the people who constantly shout speak English.
Send Asuka flying, and now a kick right to the face.
That was clearly a knee to the face, you stupid dumbass. How can Michael not tell the difference between a kick and a knee?
Again, Asuka was yelling at the official. And Kairi.
Asuka tags herself in, the referee calls it, and yet somehow Kairi Sane is still legal in this part of the match. Asuka doesn't even move from her corner to enter the ring. Here's 5 sins.
Warriors on exactly the same.
Clapping for a non-existent crowd.
For the win! And Kairi.
Here's another 3 sins, because by the time Kairi broke up the pin, the referee would have completed the 3 count.
Twisted Bliss by...
Twisted Bliss onto Kairi's legs was somehow enough to put her away. And also, wouldn't the legs cause Alexa to get the worst of it? I do congratulate Alexa and Nikki for being the first team to win the women's tag team titles twice, but I don't remove a sin given the extremely poor lineage.
They think that's inevitable.
Sami Zayn is using the word inevitable more than Thanos. It's like his new favorite word or something.
The cage fighter.
Referring to Shayna Baszler as the cage fighter in a company that has cage matches on rare occasions per year is kind of a dumb nickname. What's so wrong with Queen of Spades? Unfortunately, King Corbin couldn't have his throne entrance due to social distancing laws. It's almost like you can see the disdain in his eyes.
Everything that King Corbin has done, he has been successful at.
Except for cashing in Money in the Bank successfully and winning world titles.
He's nowhere to be found.
Elias is nowhere to be found because he was playing the role of Mufasa in the latest live-action remake of The Lion King. I already like this version better than 2019's.
Corbin wants to make sure Elias doesn't make it to the
Pre-match assault.
disqualification.
JBL hasn't realized that this match doesn't technically exist yet. With nothing going on yet, what Elias did to the King is legal.
Elias can go.
Damn it, King, you landed too early from the swing and neck breaker. Only a minute into this match and it ain't looking good.
I was thinking about the.
You never did that.
I did do that. It just took me a couple days to do it.
JBL is absolutely hilarious on commentary.
You two gotta be over there telling everybody how good I am.
Given the fact that there's no audience, it's amazing that King Corbin can't even hear what the commentators sitting so closely to the ring, might I add, are saying. That's like the 4th or 5th time that someone has gone shoulder first into the ring post, yet somehow the LED lights are still operational with no glitches.
Play guitar.
Oh!
What kind of landing from a clothesline was that? Good lord, that was so bad. Rope cravings.
Elias has got the tights and Elias with the win.
Victory by means of grasping the tights is always a sin. Doesn't matter if it's by a heel or face or if it was payback for the bad guy attempting to cheat to win.
And there is not a woman on this roster.
Word of advice, never say that there is nobody who can match up to your abilities because one of those just may come along someday. We made such a big deal about Shayna Baszler attempting to eat Becky Lynch like a cannibal, yet it is never revisited again, nor does anything frightening come from it. What a waste. Even without an audience for a reaction, Becky Lynch never fails to put on a hell of an entrance. That truck was a nice addition.
It's presented by Snickers.
Since this is the 5th consecutive year that Snickers has been the sponsor for WrestleMania, it might as well be a given without question. Oh yeah, and skip!
Introducing the challenger.
Ring introductions like this with no crowd is just pointless. The only reason the WWE does this is to get the reaction from the audience, which is a waste of time tonight.
Here to start this off, and
Becky reacted a little too late from Shayna's kick to her leg.
now going to the top and the drop.
First it was King Corbin with his awkward landing from a clothesline, and now it's Shayna Baszler with an awkward landing from a missile dropkick. What's next, an awkward landing from an RKO?
Another knee strike, and now again going for the disarm.
Throughout the many times Becky attempts to lock in the disarmer, both her and Shayna spin around so much, I'm tempted to sing Ring Around the Rosie, or possibly the Spin Me Right Round song. Shayna looks to lock it in an armbar, but proceeds to loosen up the pain for Becky by sitting up. That's honestly the dumbest thing you could do if you're trying to lock the hold in properly.
Baszler, oh my God.
Becky, right infringement.
And Shayna
I'm removing another sin for Shayna Baszler's intense brutality. Really makes this match feel anticlimactic with Becky's roll-up escape, but even so.
covered by Lynch.
Got her! We interrupt WrestleMania 36 to bring you NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4. You'd think that Shayna would never fall for that trick again, but there you go. Also, given the absolute destruction Shayna portrayed in the Elimination Chamber last month, it really kills her momentum knowing she can easily be defeated by a simple roll-up. Pretty much anything involving Rob Gronkowski, and the WWE is trying way too hard to promote bigger stars from other sports. No wonder a lot of the roster is pissed off.
One of the mainstays of WrestleMania.
And yet each year at WrestleMania in recent times, the Intercontinental Championship is usually added for a filler match or just because they want all titles defended.
And
this match is only 9 minutes long, and Sami Zayn is wasting a lot of that by staying in the corner or taking a breather outside the ring.
Up there, you don't have a little.
Screw it, let's just add 5 sins. Sami Zayn is an absolute waste of a WrestleMania competitor. And that's what sucks about how he's being treated. He's got talent. Use it! Drew Gulak waited a good 5 minutes of this match before he realized that Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro were going to be a problem for Daniel Bryan.
Daniel, listen to me.
Begging for mercy. What has become of the once awesome Sami Zayn? Hard to believe what he was in NXT. Got your nose!
And out Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan making the mistake of turning his attention away from Sami Zayn just to take out Cesaro and Shinsuke, which ultimately cost him everything. Who does he think he is, Johnny Gargano?
This is a triple threat ladder match.
Obviously, due to the circumstances of The Miz feeling sick and having to keep away from the action for the safety of the wrestlers, this is an unusual ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. However, a triple threat with John Morrison, Kofi Kingston, and Jimmy Uso actually sounds like a kick-ass ladder match. And it was. Just goes to show that there are some blessings in disguise.
And Kofi lands at his feet. And Morrison.
Only 20 seconds into this match and it's already fun to watch. We haven't even gotten to the ladders yet. That was well done on the coordination and execution. John Morrison is representing as the SmackDown Tag Team Champion, yet he's the one who pulls out the first ladder introduced as too small to reach the prize cliche. Jimmy and Kofi had a better idea by bringing in the bigger ladders.
Drag him down now, back into the...
So funny to see John literally slide down the ladder as if he was on a slide at the playground. That looks like a fun ride. Let's do that again!
Slides underneath the ladder. And
Jimmy Uso didn't think to move the ladder a little to the side in either direction before throwing it at John Morrison. It was pretty clear that John would get through that unscathed.
oh my God!
Finally, John Morrison hits a Starship Pain that actually looked cool. It only took him all the attempts since he first started using it. There's your WrestleMania moment.
Morrison taking his time.
John is hardly in pain at all, and yet he takes a sweet-ass time climbing each step on the ladder, oblivious to the fact that there are two other guys who would easily stop him in an instant. I hate it when they do that all the time.
Sees himself top rope. Wow!
Even if he almost failed, that springboard into the Hurricane Rana from Kofi Kingston was an awesome moment of this match. Just goes to show that this event can have its good moments even without an audience present. One would think that we'd have no cliched moments during a crowdless show, but I guess it's not a ladder match without a bridge.
And now, oh my God!
There's a ladder bridge between the ring apron and the barricade with Jimmy Uso lying on it, but let's do this in the ring instead. Another possible epic moment was blown.
No! Off the ladder!
I get that this scene was probably edited from a different scene, but the fact that Jimmy is lying the other way from how he landed just made it worse.
Double headbutt, Morrison collapsed!
Gotta admit, that was an awesome way for John Morrison to retain the tag team titles, hanging onto the straps while falling to his death on an awaiting ladder below. Awesome match, creative victory.
I am here to lead us into the future.
And yep, Seth Rollins has yet to lead any sort of future by this point. Not doing a good job, Mr. Atheist Messiah.
I become a god.
You will never be a god.
Is delivered to you in part by...
Man, Snickers is gonna be pissed knowing Papa John's Pizza is trying to be a new contender for the WrestleMania sponsor. Based on the graphics, Seth Rollins' opponent tonight is named K. Owens O. Wonder what the extra O stands for. Kevin Owens pauses in his entrance to gaze at the big WrestleMania sign, giving away that he has a plan to either leap off of it or throw Seth off of it. Don't end up giving Seth ideas, Kevin.
Under pressure, he is a god.
The only person who was ever a god while under pressure was Freddie Mercury, a status Seth Rollins will never get close to.
Kevin Owens' track record runs like this. Failure after failure.
I wouldn't necessarily refer to Kevin Owens' WrestleMania track record as a failure. Sure, he's only won once and lost all the others, but let's look at the facts. The two matches he lost were a ladder match and a tag team match, both of which he was not involved in the final decision. Coincidentally, he's undefeated in one-on-one matches, which carries on after tonight.
By Rollins, who...
Seth must have seen Sami Zayn's match earlier and figured he could get away with running from his opponent to victory also, and that mission failed miserably. Huh, that's odd. I've never known of a god that begs for mercy from his opponent, maybe except for Loki, but even Seth cannot match the greatness that is Tom Hiddleston.
Here comes Rollins. And
Even before Seth started running to the other side of the ring, you can see Kevin watching him. I'm honestly surprised Kevin didn't sucker him in like I would've.
You rethinking this yet?
Monologuing is a villain's greatest weakness. Strangely enough, the only thing I'm rethinking is coming back this early from my YouTube break. 4 months seems too early to me. But here we are.
off the top. Senton.
That was clearly a swanton bomb.
Security. Counter after counter. Hey,
Boy, that's gotta bring back haunting memories for Seth when Kevin did his own version of the rope flip trick usually executed by Dean Ambrose. Look, I like the stunner as much as the next fan, but the pop-up powerbomb looks like a more believable finisher for Kevin Owens. Now it's just being treated like an average move. Stupid. Man, when Seth Rollins goes from a guy who beat Brock Lesnar at last year's WrestleMania to getting himself intentionally disqualified at this year's WrestleMania, you know something has gone completely wrong. Also, instead of having this match give a fake-out ending just to be restarted as a no disqualification match, why not just add that stipulation since the beginning?
You don't get to end this.
You know, given the fact that there's no fans in attendance and this part of the performance center is small, using a microphone seems a bit redundant. I'm sure Seth could easily hear Kevin without the usage of the microphone.
No disqualification, no rule.
You see, without a microphone, Seth is literally at the same volume level as Kevin with a microphone.
You're always gonna be a bitch.
As cool as Kevin Owens is, Seth is the guy holding the chair while you're on the ground. Calling him a bitch is either a brave move or a stupid move.
Assist for WrestleMania moment. Oh, Jesus.
I'll give you an answer, Kevin. It was a fantastic WrestleMania moment. Here are 3 cents removed for that.
I'm the 24/7, 48/7.
R-Truth as the 24/7 champion at WrestleMania is absolute gold even when he hasn't done anything yet.
Come get it, I ain't running. Playboy.
Mojo Rawley tells Rob Gronkowski that he isn't going to run away as the 24/7 champion, then proceeds to do just that. It's one thing to hype up a match that's coming up later in the night, but this match between Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre isn't even happening until the very next night of WrestleMania, making the hype during tonight's event completely stupid. Also, literally 5 freaking minutes of talking about matches that aren't going to happen until the following night. It's like tonight's matches aren't worth anything.
Is Paul...
Haha, Paul Heyman accidentally hacked up Flem in the middle of his introduction. Okay, I have massive respect for Roman Reigns backing out of WrestleMania due to his vulnerability to COVID-19, but they couldn't even come up with a storyline reason for why Braun Strowman is the guy facing Goldberg tonight for the Universal Championship. That deserves 5 sins for absolute laziness.
It won't be easy.
Man, that was some poorly edited shots. Braun Strowman is clearly looking at the empty wall of the Performance Center in one shot, but is suddenly looking at the entrance ramp in the next shot. He's teleporting more poorly than Matt Hardy did on AEW that one time. Haha, the cameraman ran into the wall.
He is a Hall of Famer.
And he can't even wrestle for longer than 3 minutes at a time per match, only using 2 moves, and somehow that's enough to give him all the spotlights in the world. This is the only occasion where the electricity for this match feels the same as it would if there was a crowd involved. Absolutely nothing whatsoever. A big mistake. The fact that Goldberg is even attempting a jackhammer on someone like Braun Strowman after he tried the same thing to The Undertaker and nearly killed him. Even though this match was 2 minutes of stupidity, I'll remove a few sins because it's about freaking time that Braun Strowman won a world championship of any kind, especially on the grand stage of WrestleMania. Although I'm adding another 2 sins for 2 minutes of a wasted world title match at WrestleMania. From this point forward, let's not jinx WrestleMania taking place in Hollywood next year, or any event taking place anywhere. We must never jinx any momentum because life is unpredictable. Let's knock on wood, everyone.
Your wife is gonna run you into the ground.
You gotta admit, this was the highlight of WrestleMania and the match that should have closed out freaking night 2. AJ Styles and The Undertaker stole the show in both the storyline hype and the match itself. This boneyard match being shot like it's an epic horror movie was the absolute best decision WWE made. When there's no audience to entertain live, creative possibilities are endless, not to mention the brief return of The Undertaker's theme from the 1990s. Well, somebody obviously watched Bray Wyatt during his feud with The Undertaker 5 years ago. Fucking finally! At long fucking last! And of course, Metallica makes it even better. Fans beg for Limp Bizkit's Rollin', but I like the idea of using Metallica for the return of the American Badass.
Oh! Get up, boy!
Jesus, we're in the negatives, and it doesn't look like we're getting out of the negatives anytime soon. The Undertaker's verbal taunts to AJ increases the excitement to the max.
Alan, hey!
Ha! Get it? Because AJ referred to The Undertaker as Mark? Also, since AJ has been referring to Undertaker by his real name, I guess now is a perfect time as any to say,
Oh, hi, Mark.
The Undertaker is addicted to caskets.
Son of a bitch.
No better reaction to bleeding from your arm after whacking it through a window, in a voice that says, now look what you made me do.
You know where else to go, son?
Well, technically, AJ Styles could simply jump off the hearse and he'd have more places to go. This line would only work if they were atop a high place and the fall would be catastrophic.
Go!
Really? It didn't even register once to The Undertaker that AJ had a handful of grass and dirt ready to throw it in his face?
Go!
I suppose in this case, Alan Jones is addicted to Mark's Callaways. Ugh, that didn't sound good at all. I'm not doing that one again.
Come on, big man. Oh, come on.
Whoever's in that car in the background must be shocked out of their mind to be seeing AJ Styles and The Undertaker fighting in a graveyard.
Hey, dead man!
What the hell have these assholes been the entire time AJ was getting his ass handed to him in the first 5 minutes? We interrupt WrestleMania 36 to bring you Ben Solo surrounded by his own Knights of Ren in Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. I was actually thinking Undertaker was going to pull out a lightsaber and shrug Ben Solo style. That would have been fucking hilarious.
Let's do this, let's do it.
That's strange. Those druids outnumber The Undertaker at least 6 to 7 to 1, and yet they charge one at a time while the rest stare and watch.
Alright, let's use the shovel.
Well, the shovel is actually no longer attached to the stick, so we're no longer using the shovel here. And with that so-called shovel, The Undertaker has buried Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson right out of the WWE.
You made me break my finger!
You have done that yourself! I don't know if anybody else caught this, but I'm getting serious Joker vibes out that music in the background. Immediately reminded of Joker dancing in the bathroom. Really adds to the horror of this moment with The Undertaker supposedly showing his weak and old side. Made it almost hard to watch.
I'm gonna bury you.
Then just fucking do it already! Holy shit! And we're back to square one again, just when you think things couldn't get any better. Instead of cowering away from The Undertaker while he's climbing the ladder, why doesn't AJ Styles just push the ladder over? That'd at least buy him some time. How about instead of begging The Undertaker not to bury you, you actually do something about it? Like, try to get out at least. It seems like AJ's given up at this point. And thus caused people to actually think AJ Styles had died, given the updated Wikipedia page. Not kidding. Man, that was the coolest way to end part 1 of WrestleMania. Crazy to think we're removing the only sins I got and starting off part 2 of the WrestleMania sins the same way part 1 began. That's never been done before on this franchise.